So what are the points of difference between that lure and other jerkbaits that you might see on the market?
So probably the biggest one is
Like every second cast at the moment we're going for.
every time you twitch it, it's going to have a different action.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, buddy. Look at that too.
Gravity oscillation. So yeah, I mean, most people think it's for casting.
Oh yeah, buddy. Well done.
That's a nice fish.
That is solid fish.
What the silent refers to is those two little washers at each end, which are
Yeah, look at it. Look at it. It's a ball. It's a ball.
Yeah.
the same system that is what's made double clutch so effective.
Quickly grab her, hold her up. Hold her up. Look at that. Oh, dude, hold on.
I don't know what to say or do.
So things are going pretty nuts right now. Francis and I have got the new shallow jerkbaits from Daiwa that are coming out of the after show, and it is like fish after the fish. That's like the 7th one. Mate,
That's insane.
that's got to be close to 2. That's the biggest fish. I think that's the biggest fish I've seen. I think that's it. That's it, mate. I think I've done it.
Righty legends, pumped about today's video. Why? Because this is the first one that I'm throwing out there from the US. So as you can see, we're in the hotel here. I got my first peacock bass yesterday, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's a good peacock. That's a good peacock. Oh yeah. Look at the colours. Oh, she's gorgeous, man.
But that's not this video. This video is about the Sazanami. So Daiwa's latest jerkbait that came out around about 3 weeks ago. Now, we've actually got a full interview with Tom that I'm going to play. But before I get into that technical stuff with him, I really wanted to get into the opinions that I have drawn on this lure since I got my hands on it. Now, I actually got my hands on a demo, a Japanese color around about, I think it was at the start of this year, and I threw it around Gippsland Lakes a fair bit. I took it down on the Tassie tour with me, but admittingly, I was really enjoying that Spike 44 and the Double Clutch 48 at the time, so this lure really didn't get the time in the water originally. And that was just because of the colours. I didn't necessarily like the colour scheme that Daiwa had sent me to trial. When the first samples, or the colour samples, did arrive in the Australian colours, and that only happened a couple of months ago, it was really time to see whether this lure was as good as what they said it was going to be. And now overall, I'll start with saying that I was definitely not disappointed. I was really happy with the performance of these jerkbaits, but there are a couple of points that I think I want to talk about. So firstly, unlike a lot of Daiwa's releases for the entire year with respect to lures, this lure was not solely designed by Daiwa Australia. Now, there was an engineer in Japan that I'm told, or a lure designer in Japan that I'm told came up with this idea, and I'll put them side by side here with a double clutch 65, and you can see the similarities in the body. That engineer was actually trying to make a shallow double clutch. They were trying to take that erratic double clutch action that is known for being, I guess, quite volatile, and putting into a shallow form, or something that would dive under a foot and stay just above that weed line. And like I said, if you put the Sazanami side by side with the double clutch, they look quite similar, but I'm going to stop myself there. In terms of erratic volatility that is famous, or that the double clutch is famous for, you don't really have that same volatility with the Sazanami. Now, does it hold its own against every other jerkbait that you might find in the market, as well as the TD Minnow and its predecessor? What was the other one? The Presso Minnow? Yes, it shakes and twitches more than what those do. It's just not on the double clutch level, but it is the closest thing that you're going to find in a jerkbait to that. I've always felt that one of the weaknesses behind the double clutch is the depth that they go to. Almost every double clutch out there, even the 48, does dive to about 4 foot, and that's no good to someone that's looking for those big black brim early in the morning, where you're really looking for a shallow running jerkbait over the top of the weed, and you might only have a foot, maybe half a foot of water there to actually work. Now, in that category of lures that works in that top foot of that water column, tournament anglers have wanted something that has really shined above the rest. Now, if you consider what guys win tournaments off, they're There's no one jerkbait, I guess, that is in that sub 1 foot category that has absolutely just dominated. And this is Daiwa's attempt to do that. Now, before I roll the interview, for me, braid leader combo with around about a rod and a half's length worth of leader in there. I use 4 pound, but you can go to 6 pound leader depending on how dirty the water is. In terms of techniques, don't be afraid to roll the lure. In the videos that you saw at the start of this, I was rolling them for around about 4 meters and then stopping them, twitch, and then the fish were just jumping on it. So don't be afraid to slow roll the lure, but it is traditionally a twitch bait.
Yep, there we go. Right there.
You know it's
Oh, look at that. Yeah, buddy.
you know what's great?
Oh, look at that too. Oh, look at it. Mate. Look at the belly.
My God,
Oh my God.
that is fat.
That is fat. All right.
Its strength is in that erratic movement and it really worked well for me. All right, enough for me. Now, there is a giveaway at the end of the video, so stay for that, but here is the interview. All right, Sazanami. Questions for you, good sir.
Sazanami.
So what are the points of difference between that lure and other jerkbaits that you might see on the market?
So probably the biggest one is the silent gravity oscillation system. So Daiwa's, they call it SGOS. So essentially what that means is, I mean, you can see it in the blank double clutch here. So it's the same system that as what's made double clutch so effective. So fixed wire on the inside of the lure and a tungsten weight that slides on that wire. Basically, we can have a gravity oscillation system or a silent gravity oscillation system. Personally, for a lot of our brim stuff, I prefer not a overly loud lure. I don't like heaps of rattles. So what the silent refers to is those 2 little washers at each end, which are 2 little rubber washers, which just basically dull the sound out. You can hear probably some of these ones don't have those, well, that one won't have the silentness. Loud, so that's gravity oscillation system. Silent gravity oscillation system. So not totally silent, but I guess dulled down. So
Benefits of that?
from
not the silent.
But the gravity oscillation. So yeah, I mean, most people think it's for casting, and it does help with casting because, you know, you're shifting the mass towards the tail and it's going to fly straighter. But the important thing with the double clutch system and what's in now Sazanami is the fact that as you work the lure, that weight is free to move around. So if the weight happened to be at the front and you give it a twitch, it might have a different action than when the weight's at the back and you give it a twitch. So as you're jerking that lure, the weight's constantly shifting its position on that wire. It might be moving a little bit back and forth, it might be hitting the end and then coming back. Every time you twitch it, it's going to have a different action. And that's one key reason why I think people love double clutch so much, is because it's got that really erratic action, and that's a lot thanks to the system that's inside it. And now we've put that system into Infeet Sazanami.
How many colours?
10 colours to start with. So there's, you know, a mix of foil finish, you know, flashy black brim, you know, Tassie style colours that we like. You know, your favourite, Moebi, you know, Suji colours, and then a couple of, you know, nice ghost finish, ghost wakasagi, ghost AU style natural bait fish patterns. So good little mix of stuff. And you know, I've known we've needed a shallow minnow, you know, for a long time. When I go down your way in Gippsland and Tassie and stuff to fish, you know, we throw a double clutch a lot, but then you get into the real skinny water and you know you want a shallower lure, and Sazanami fills that gap for us nicely.
Where do you see the lures being most successful?
Anywhere there's black brim up shallow is a awesome time to use a shallow jerkbait. But even not brim related, but St Clair, dam up in the Hunter Valley here, we throw a lot of jerkbaits over the top of very shallow weed. You know, we catch a heap of bass on double clutches out there, but when they get on top of the weed, if we have a dam rise, then it rises above the weed level, and you've got a small amount of water on top of the weed that's too shallow for a double clutch. That Sazanami's going to be a real player there. And
This is a traveller.
yeah, definitely trout stream lure, stuff like that. There's all sorts of kind of areas for that lure to excel, and I think you know, just good to have another option in the arsenal for us as Daiwa. So.
All right, let's wrap this up now. If you stayed for the giveaway, here it is. So Daiwa, courtesy of Daiwa Australia, the channel is giving away one full set of lures, one colour, one set, one lure of every colour in the range will be given away in 1 week from today. Now, you need to do the standard 2 things that are required on this channel. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. And this week, I'm gonna ask you to tell me what lure you think Daiwa should come up with next. I know they've just been launching a bunch of different lures to the market, you know, over the last 2 years in particular, but tell me what you think Daiwa should make, or if they already make the lure that you like, tell me what color you think they should add to their range. The second thing you need to do is be a member. Now, membership obviously gives you access to all these giveaways that we have on the channel, but more importantly, it actually keeps me on the water. Obviously, the cost of fishing and the camera gear and the things that I do, you know, does have an overhead expense, so your contribution to this content is greatly appreciated. You can contribute as little as $1 a week, or you can contribute more if you want. But for the moment, the giveaway will be announced in 1 week from today, and I'll draw it and I'll post it in the members section. That's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe. I'll see you next time.
That's the rice fish.
Rice fish. It looks so classy, doesn't it? The foil with the see-through.
Yeah.
So that's a dying ayu. But they turn black before they die.
Oh, really?
Yeah, black and orange.
And the red behind the gills, stressed out a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the full Ezel. That's the chrome belly base. I like that one better because it's got a bit of a juice in it. Black's clear.
Yeah, I'd prefer that one over that one personally.